Okay, so we are into Omoplata side control from top. Let's do a transition there just from our guard. Turns on his knees. So sleeve control, feet on hips guard, find the collar. Okay. Again, I'm on my right hip, I'm going to hip escape on my left hip, kick through to get the open elbow, and we end up in the Omoplata position. Let's just say I physically got up. And there's my control methods that we've been addressing. My forehand's on the right collar. I have control of Tyrone's elbow. Again, I'll be putting weight in him, curling this around, trying to finish the Omoplata from here. But let's just say I can't, and I physically feel I can't get this shoulder to the mat. Maybe he's just a big brute and I can't physically pull him back in the Omoplata crucifix. So I'm just coming down again to put my butt on the mat. Now we're going to go down the sweeping options. So this far right hand is going to find the elbow. Okay, I'm going to tuck my feet in and pinch my knees. So if you notice, I'm facing Tyrone in this direction. Now what happens when I turn my knees 90 degrees, don't do nothing bro. If I'm physically here and I put my knees on the mat and turn my knees 90 degrees, I actually can finish the Omoplata from here. Okay, even if Tyrone's sitting up a little bit and his shoulder's not near the mat, from there, all I'm going to do is move my body 90 degrees and put my knees towards the mat. Now you could turn around and say, well, why don't we do that all the time? Well, it's easy escape because the minute I start to do it, Tyrone's just going to roll over his left shoulder and you end up in the Omoplata mount. Big detail on keeping this left elbow away from his body. We've already taught how to stop him putting me back in close guard with my right hand here. In this system, we're looking at pinning his right shoulder to the mat just by pushing down in the lapel, and I'm crushing Tyrone with my butt. The first move we're looking for is the wrist lock, especially if his hand is open. Anytime I look down from there and I can see his wrist opening, all we're going to do is drop our knee to the mat. So this one comes under, I've made that wedge. I'm just finding my two thumbs, one on Tyrone's thumb, one on his little finger, and now I'm just smushing that wrist lock in. Of course the defense is he'll make a fist. The minute he does, my left hand grabs the wrist. I'm going to torque it to put tension in it, and then the palm of my hand is going to push on the knuckle line. Okay. Now again, if he's strong, he will make a fist come through. If I half get it, he'll probably reach through with his right hand to try and pull his wrist straight, and we'll look at that on the next move. So let's get another go on that. Just stay in that position. You see what I'm doing. So from collar and sleeve, we find our grips. I'm on my hip. Again, I'll hip in, I go straight into the Omoplata, and maybe I feel when I come up to here that I just cannot get Tyrone's shoulder to the mat. So this hand that's reaching across is going to find the elbow. And from there, I could tuck my feet in. All I'm going to do is change my hip positioning. From being in the same direction as Tyrone, I'm baiting him into rolling. If he doesn't roll, when I turn my hips 90 degrees and put my knees towards the mat, I'm going to get the shoulder lock. But again, because I'm not controlling this part of his body, it's very easily stopped. He's just going to roll over his shoulder. And when he does, we're into the Omoplata mount, which we wanted all along. Okay, so from there, my right hand is going to pin this far shoulder to the mat. I really don't want Tyrone sitting up into me. And now we're looking to see, is this wrist open? So the first move, the go-to move is I'll bring this underneath to put tension in the arm, because it's easier to put a submission when you have tension in the arm. I just find Steven Seagal style. We just find the knuckle line. One thumb just below the knuckle on the first finger, second one on the little finger, I just smush that in. If he happens to make a fist, my left hand grabs the wrist. I'm going to turn it, and now I'm just going to push on the knuckle line to get that same wrist lock. Common reaction, as I'm doing this, he'll bring this hand across, and we'll look at that in the next move. So, that is our wrist lock from the Omoplata side control.